Homeschooling, a system that was set up before 1960, homeschooling has doubled in population in recent years, with children all across America being removed from public schools because parents see it more beneficial for their child. While being homeschooled, children get abused, and in most cases, parent rights override their child's rights, and there is no monitoring over the children that are being homeschooled. 47% of children that received abuse and neglect were removed from public school systems to be homeschooled by their parents. Why are the percentages so high? Because the regulation in the homeschooling system is majorly flawed.
Calls for homeschool oversight are ramping up in response to a disturbing case this week in Charleston, where a little girl escaped her home, where police say she was handcuffed for 13 hours. Laura Southworth, who was arrested and charged with child neglect and unlawful restraint, had 2 of her children and 2 grandchildren living with her in a South Hills home. Police described the home as extremely messy. Southworth told police she handcuffed the 8-year-old girl because she was making a mess in the house and stealing food. Now, the girl managed to escape from the home with the handcuffs still on Monday morning and run to a neighbor's house for some help. We have since learned that the 3 school-aged kids in the house were pulled from school in October of 2022.
Children all over America are taken out of public school to be homeschooled, which then in some cases leads to abuse and neglect of the child. Recent high-profile cases of severe child abuse and torture among homeschooled children, however, have highlighted the lack of mechanisms for the detection and prevention of child maltreatment. Though these cases have raised awareness about the potential risks of homeschooling, calls for tighter regulations are often met with resistance. Abuse and neglect is commonly found in situations where the child has been pulled from public school. In almost all states, parental rights override a child's protection in homeschooling systems. In 11 states, parents have the freedom to pull their child out of the public school system without notifying or getting reviewed by the state, and the child is no longer mandated to participate in standardized testing progresses. There are many conflicts throughout the parent and child relationship in homeschooling, and for some children, placement in homeschooling would not be beneficial. In the cases where children are abused and neglected due to homeschooling, there are minimum ways to monitor a child's well-being. The Constitution sets a baseline level of protection for American citizens, but states are free to provide more protection to their citizens within their state constitutions, meaning every state has full ability to put these higher regulations in place for homeschooled children and parental figures, but still, every state minimally monitors or requires standardized testing from the parents or the children.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Keisha Grant.
And I'm Mike Heidick. There is more scrutiny on oversight when it comes to homeschooling after 2 recent cases of alleged abuse involving homeschooled students. One in New Britain, where an 11-year-old died shortly after being pulled out of school. Then another one in Waterbury, where a man says he actually set fire to his home after he says he's been held captive for decades after leaving public school.
That's why a forum was held tonight to talk about regulations surrounding homeschooling.
It is important to know that due to the little regulation in the homeschooling system, children suffer in ways a child should never have to. Homeschooling needs refined regulation to be placed because children are treated with abuse by their caregivers. Parental rights override the importance of protecting a child from situations where they are caused harm, and for most states, there is no mandatory standardized monitoring over the children who are receiving an education from their caregiver.